Like, if you don't know what you want and you're complaining, then whose fault is that really? You know, is it the man, the boss, some mystical guy in the sky? Is whose fault is that besides you? So you need to figure out what you actually want with your life and figure out what your ideal lifestyle is.
If you're up for a good laugh, be sure to check out my comics on Instagram at JMan's Comic Book Adventures.
All right, lads. London Lad Lost in Asia, and today I'm going to be talking about my ideal day as an artist, because I've been thinking a lot about this a lot recently. But first, I want to talk about the comic that you're seeing me drawing. This is like a 5-page comic, and it's actually a special one because it's the first one I did digitally and like the second comic I did overall. And I remember showing this comic to my girlfriend, and she thought it was really funny, which I enjoyed because I like seeing people like read my comics or any sort of art I've made and seeing their reaction. Like, that's sort of priceless to me, and it's kind of why I enjoy doing this. I enjoy making people laugh, and she thought the ending of the comic was funny. So if you want to go to my Instagram, and you can go check out my comic and check out the other ones, they might make you laugh. I want to talk about my ideal day as an artist because I've been thinking about this a lot, because I've made this massive transition in the last, let's say, in the last 6 months. It's been a gradual transition, but I'll say really within the last 40 days of me not drinking alcohol anymore, I've made this sort of huge transition to where I'm going out a lot less, you know, and I'm tending to go to sleep a lot earlier. Like, I'm in bed within 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., around about that time frame. And most of the time, on average, I'll probably say I'm in bed by 10 o'clock, like sleeping. And then I wake up at 6, right? There's been this huge sort of transformation that I've been going through, because before, typically, I would be out, you know, I'd be out seeing people and partying. But I've reached the age of 28 now, and I feel as though that stuff is kind of shallow and it kind of gets old. And I've realized that I actually want to create something meaningful and impactful. And I know a lot of you guys who are listening to this might find this relatable. Like, you've lived a lifestyle of where you're constantly going out and meeting people and like fun, drinks and all of that. And you kind of get to a certain point to where you're like, wow, this is not that fulfilling anymore, and it's not as exciting. I think the peak of this was actually my birthday party. So I've had 4 birthdays in China, and it's funny enough, they seem to follow a pattern. My first birthday in China, nobody in China knew it was my birthday until the day afterwards. So no one in real life actually said happy birthday to me, which was kind of sad. It was the first time in my life that had happened. So after that happened, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna throw a massive party where everyone's around and everyone's there. And it became a trend within my friend group, because all of us, our birthdays fell within the summertime of the summertime's birthdays at this same bar that we all like to go to called Mixed, right? And it became this massive trend, and everyone had like summer birthdays. And for me, it was a massive birthday. I got really drunk and I went on, there's this bar called The Terrace, and I started singing and flipping people off, and it was great, right? At the time, because I was I had turned 26 at that time. Yeah, I turned 26. The following birthday was actually kind of sad. There was this girl I liked a lot, and I decided I wanted to spend time with her instead of my friends. You can see where my stupid priorities are. But I understand why now that is, because the Compound Effect, that book, it has some exercises about your core values, and I realized one of my core values is intimacy. It's achievement, intimacy, and belonging are my 3 main core values that I kind of came up with in that book. Yeah, those are the 3 major values at the moment anyway. And I understand why I did that, because I was craving that sort of intimate relationship and not just like flings and stuff. So I thought it would be good if we ended up together, but that didn't work out. But that was kind of a stupid choice. I should have spent that with my friends. I mean, I spent the day before with my friends, And this recent birthday party I had was the mimicking year 2, where I had the massive party, but it just felt hollow. It didn't feel the same as the first party. The first party, it was big, and it was a surprise that it was so big, and it was so great. It just turned out all so well. It was this grand plan I had of making this lads group where all of the lads were in it, and then inviting women individually. And at that time I was single as well, and I ended up getting laid from that, which was amazing. But I invited all the girls individually to this group, and then all of a sudden there was a bunch of girls and a bunch of guys, and it was a surprise to me that my grand plan worked. And it ended up really well for me because I got a lot of attention because I was the birthday boy that organized this amazing party, and I ended up leaving with one of the girls. But this time it was different. I was 2 years older. I'm in a relationship, and I was at the time of my birthday, and it just felt ever so hollow. It was like the party was even bigger than the first one by I think there was probably 20 or 30 more people, because the last one had 70 people that I brought to it, but this one had like over 100 people. But it just felt so hollow. It didn't feel the same that it did. It's like I matured past that point, because already at that point, this was in June. My birthday is June 20th. I had reduced my drinking down a lot. I'd probably been 5 months into my meditation habit, 4.5, 5 months into that, studying Chinese every day, journaling a lot, I'd been reading books as well. I think I was in the middle of reading deep work about meaningful work, right? My mindset had evolved, and again, I'd been through so much. My first birthday party, I don't even think I had my boxing match yet. That epic story of my boxing match, I don't even think I had failed at doing a social media marketing agency at that time. I'd grown so much and experienced so many things that I felt like I was trying to replicate 26-year-old me as a 28-year-old, and it didn't work. It felt really hollow, and it made me, going back to the main topic, right, of this video, to bring it all together, it made me realize that my ideal lifestyle before probably would have been one where like I had before, to be honest, where I was working not too hard job, and I could go out and party and meet a lot of people, and I was doing some art as well. Ideally, it would have been good if it was an art job, because then I would feel like I'm having more fulfillment, but again, that was my ideal lifestyle. But now it's to where my ideal lifestyle is me working on skills that I feel are valuable and provide people with value, like my comic, like producing comics, like producing these YouTube videos, working on these skills daily, working on my actual artwork skill as well, leveling up those skills, and then doing that most of the time, 90% of the time. So I go to the gym as well, and keep active every day. And then in terms of social life, maybe once or twice, once a week I go out and meet people, maybe. I was thinking, but no, I don't think once a week, because I was thinking about this a lot. I was thinking, once a week, because I went over to this extreme end recently, where I'm I'll just see people once a week. But I don't think that's really what my ideal lifestyle would be. My ideal lifestyle would be actually to meet people every day, meet one of my friends or a friend group every day. But it doesn't need to be for a long period of time. It doesn't need to be 4, 5, 6 hours. It could be an hour. I could have a coffee chat with one of my friends. My ideal lifestyle would be to where there's a social activity I have with one of my friends or my girlfriend every single day. And it could be for anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, and on the weekend maybe longer. And then that's it, it doesn't need to be these wild parties. I mean, I don't think parties would actually be even involved. Maybe if someone has a birthday, or maybe if I have a trip to somewhere else, maybe if I did the whole digital nomad thing, which I'm planning on doing, on going to Thailand, maybe that would be involved. But it would be to where I wake up at the same time, I go to bed at the same time, for the most part, maybe the exception being Saturday. I spend an hour or so developing my artwork skill, actually practicing. I spend a couple of hours, 2 to 4 hours depending, on like making comics, and I spend some of that time, extra time, making videos as well. And then I can interact with my partner, see my family, and like kind of work when I want. Like kind of having like a sort of, I would say honestly, a 4 hour work day would be great. If that 4 hour work day was every single day, and it was like the amount of time I worked per week was 28 hours, but it was like 28 hours of concentrated work, and the rest were just all administrative tasks, you know, and stuff like that that I could pass on to someone else if I wanted to. But then I could use the rest of the time to like actually interact with people, go to the gym, and like have social interactions with people each day. You know, that's part of my self-improvement as well. That would be such a brilliant lifestyle. Imagine, because again, I'm on holiday at the moment, so I've kind of somewhat been living this. Like the other day, I went with my friend to the gym. It wasn't my usual gym, but we went to another gym called Lazy Lawai, and we trained for a couple of hours, which was great. You know, it was just great interacting with him and gymming and having a nice little chat afterwards, and then going about my day doing the things I wanted to do. Imagine if I wanted to meet a friend and catch up with them, get a quick coffee after they had finished work for 30 minutes, just catch up with them, and having these social activities, like meaningful social activities every single day, instead of like what I used to do was where I just meet a bunch of new people all the time and develop a lot of these shallow connections that aren't really that meaningful. And I'll just go out and party and meet new people, have sex with like new girls, you know, whenever I was successful or whatever. Just a lot of these shallow relationships from just going out to these different events. Like for me, my ideal lifestyle, partying would be such a minimum thing. Maybe once a month I might go out with a few friends to party, but I wouldn't really want to party much. I wouldn't mind going to different meetup groups, like if there's a board game group where you meet people at board games, like fun activities like that, where there's something you're focusing on, like board games, because my girlfriend's into board games, and we're going to start going to like a sort of board game thing weekly, right? Sort of, and just doing actual activities, like not just partying, doing activities. Like my girlfriend's into pool, and I sort of started teaching her how to play pool. I'm not the greatest pool player, but I'm better than her. Playing pool, going to a climbing wall, doing actual like different activities that don't involve just guzzling down beer constantly. You know, not that in all honesty, like I have like quit alcohol, but I honestly, I haven't in my mind. It's not one of those things that I feel as though I'm never gonna drink alcohol ever again. But I feel as though if I'm not earning money full time as an artist, and I say this to people that are watching as well, if you're someone who wants to be an artist and you're not earning a full-time living off your art, and you're not living the lifestyle that you want, like the one I described, to where you work a certain amount of time, then you can socialize, you can work whenever you want, and forever how long you want, like sort of like an artist with a lifestyle business. If you're someone that wants your art to be your sort of lifestyle business and you haven't achieved that, I don't think you should be drinking alcohol. I think you should be spending your time wisely to try and figure out how to make that into a big thing. So that's just kind of my thing. My ideal lifestyle isn't the drinking and partying. It's like having genuine, deep social connections with people, whether it be from 30 minutes to 2 hours or whatever, every single day, each day, while sort of working on the same sort of activities each day that I feel are meaningful, which is drawing, creating YouTube videos, right? The two things that I enjoy doing, you know, and, you know, kind of working from home and working whenever I want. That would be it. It wouldn't necessarily be me being super, super famous. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I would like to be known within the community that I'm in. That would be great. It's not even necessarily having tons and tons of money. You know, it's not necessarily that either. It's just being able to work on the things that I want when I want, and having the creative freedom to work on the things that I want to work on, and being able to meet the people that I want to meet, and being able to maneuver around to different countries as well, whether I want to be in the UK, because again, I'm London lad and lost in Asia. Eventually I'm going to leave China, but I do want to go to Thailand for like 6 months. I do want to go to Japan, you know. I do want to go to Nigeria as well at some point, You know, I want to be able to move and travel around. In all honesty, I wouldn't mind, depending on the way things go with my current relationship, but I really wouldn't mind a lifestyle where I'm 6 months in London at home with my like family, and then 6 months away somewhere else, sort of doing my own thing. You know, I wouldn't mind doing that for like the next 5-ish years, but we'll see where things go. But I just thought this was an interesting thing to think about, guys. Like, what would your ideal lifestyle look like? Like, what would it involve? What do you want? I mean, I've given a very general outline of this. I could do a more detailed one, like with writing, because in all honesty, I had found I really thrive off of routine. So I'm actually going to turn to my journal. It's got some Chinese studying as well. I didn't mention my Chinese studying. Like, that's another skill that I would like to do every day, is like studying like a language if I'm in a different country. But yeah, like I really thrive off of routine. Like I literally write down the exact time that I'm meant to do things, right? So like if you see this, you can see the exact timestamps of me doing things. It's like 6 a.m. to 6:30 meditation, 6:30 to 6:50 planning, you know, 6:50 to 7:20 5-page journal, because I'm on holiday. So, but I'm doing an exact sort of routine and plan like that. It changes a bit every day because of things that happen, right? But I like to plan out my day before the day starts. But I think it's a habit I'm going to do even when I go back to my current full-time job, right? But it's just like, I think it's very important for you guys to actually envision what lifestyle would you actually want to lead. Like, have an idea of that, because it's something worth striving for, and it's something that gets you up every day. And it's something that, like, if you don't know what you want and you're complaining, then whose fault is that really? You know, is it the man, the boss, some mystical guy in the sky? Whose fault is that besides you? So you need to figure out what you actually want with your life and figure out what your ideal lifestyle is. So are you similar to me? Have you matured a bit? Do you want to be a party animal? Maybe you do want to live the party animal lifestyle, to where you are making enough money from what you want to make money you're making enough money from an activity you enjoy making enough money from, and then you can just party around and spin plates all you want. Spin plates, if you don't know what that means date multiple people. Like, maybe you want that. I'm not judging you if you want that. I don't want that anymore, you know. But if you do want that, hey, just know what you want and go for it, right? So this has been London Lad Lost in Asia, and I really don't know how to end this video.